Hello, and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to show you how to connect to Oracle Content Management's GraphQL API in Gatsby using the Gatsby Source GraphQL plugin. This tutorial will be done using the Gatsby minimal sample by adding a new people page. So, let's get started. The following is a functioning Gatsby minimal site with a people page. The data for the people banner at the top and the people cards at the bottom are obtained using Oracle Content Management's GraphQL API connected via the Gatsby Source GraphQL plugin. The home and contact us page are generated with a REST API called through the Gatsby Source OCE plugin. This site can be generated by following the Gatsby minimal tutorial on Oracle Content Management's sample site. So, let's dive into the code to see what's going on. This is the result of running npm run develop, and now let's dive into the gatsby config.js file. As you can see, there are two main plugins used to obtain data. The first is the Gatsby Source OCE plugin, which calls our REST API, and it is what generates the content on the home and contact us page of the minimal site. The second is the Gatsby Source GraphQL plugin. Here, we provide the endpoint for the API as the server URL with the addition of content published API v1.1 GraphQL. We also provide the options of a type name and a field name of OCM for Oracle Content Management, which are used to obtain the remote schema query type and the field under which it's accessible. The naming here is not too important as long as you are consistent in your query. Next, let's look at the end of the Gatsby node.js file. Here, we see that we create a people page using the people page template when the slug for the page is people. Notice how we are passing in the channel token in addition to the slug of people in the page context so we can access it in the GraphQL API, which you can see in this query here. Finally, let's take a look at this people template.js listed under the templates. Here we see that the query is going to run, followed by some dynamic processing for the banner and people cards. The query needs a slug and a channel token to run, which are provided in the page context of the createPage method as seen in the previous file. Each person has some properties like an image, name, position, and description that is put into the cards. To see the output of the query, we can go to the GraphQL Explorer, which could be found at localhost 8000 ___ GraphQL. Here we see all the data displayed on the page being returned, and the images here in particular are URLs. Notice how in the query at the top level we had to call OCM to be able to tell Gatsby that this field name of OCM corresponds to that particular API endpoint. Each of these images has a renditions URL, and the renditions URL for the images of the people page are generated from this GraphQL request. If we switch over to the Network tab, we notice that the rendition URL returned from the GraphQL API is the same as the request URL for each individual image. However, in comparison, for the home and contact us page, which use the Gatsby Source OCE plugin, which is a REST API plugin, we see that the data being taken is from localhost 8000 as the request URL, which is on the localhost content server. That's it from my end. Thank you for watching this video about how you can use Gatsby Source GraphQL to access content in Oracle Content Management. Thank you and have fun building.